Right, I've cut that section of hedge from more or less where the wheelbarrow is down to here, so I've got a path, but you can see it's all impassable. So once I've cut that, it's going to be quite easy to get a wheelbarrow through here. But for now, I'm going to remove part of the border around the beam bed so that I can use the existing cleared paths for a wheelbarrow. This beam bed, I've got a path here and then a path there, so it's a bit awkward. And this one, that is, yeah, it's a bit in the way. So what I'm going to do is take it out. Right, so it's given me a sort of a path because we've got the metal support here, so I can't take this one out anyway. So I've taken that one out, and that will go between these two because they're quite a distance apart. So it will go between these two. Right, let's do that now. Okay, oops. Well, I've got to tie it up at the top later, but I'll sort that out. And now I can actually go from this path up to there, and I've got a straight path through. Now this is a bit tight because we've got the fruit tree here and we've got the fruit bushes here, so it's very tight, and you go through and you don't want to get poked in the eye by branches. Last thing you want is a poke in the eye. So I think what I might do next year is move these raspberries and make this path a bit wider and make the bed a little bit shorter, but that's next year. So I've got a clear path to go up there, apart from here where we've got this board, but really it's not really doing much of a job because there's weeds on both sides of it, and it's the same weeds. This bed is not raised, it's the same level, so it's just marking the path. But I mean, this beam bed has sort of had bits and pieces, and you know, there's bits of wood that have just fallen down, and oh god, there's asbestos here. So rather than try and shift stuff in tubs and things, I'll take this board off. That one's fell off on of its own accord, and then I've got a path from there right through and up there. It's going to be a bit tight, so let's see if this thing comes off. Well, look, it's just, look at it, it's all falling apart, isn't it? I think it's just slightly buried at this end. It's a two-hand job. Okay. Yeah. And that is just lifted off easily enough. Oops. I think it's nailed to that thing, but that doesn't matter because it'll come straight up. Right. Now what I might do is turn it around. So just turn it around on there. It's still nailed at that end, but now it's edging that bit of the bed, and this bit is free. So I now have a clear path. If I get rid of this as well. Crumbs. Yeah, well, that's just no good. It's all rotten, look at it. So that's for the burn pile, and so is that one. Right, well, I've cut the hedges right down to the bottom, and I've taken the wheelbarrow up and down. There's a couple of spots where it's a bit tight, but we'll sort that out. It looks a little bit wonky, but that's because it is. But I can walk up here, which I couldn't do before, and I can push a wheelbarrow up here. There's a couple of places where it's sticking, so I'll cut the hedge back a little bit more, so it's going to look even more wonky, but that will do. Cut here above where the asparagus bed's going to be, so I'll cut that back by loppers so it will go right back to the wood. Otherwise it's going to be a bit of a job to cut it midsummer with the asparagus growing, so I really don't want that too tall. This back hedge has not been cut back for quite a while, so it's quite tall, but I've tried to cut it here unfortunately there's a gooseberry plant which A, I don't want to cut, and B, keeps poking me whenever I go near the hedge. Ungrateful so and so. But yeah, it's getting there. We can see the difference. Now that I've cut that around this gooseberry, it can get some light. I mean, it comes out quite a bit. So this bit, I'll try and take some cuttings from it and then cut it back to where it is. But they say it's a sweet yellow eating root gooseberry, so I want to keep it, even though I've got some other gooseberries. I want to keep it and try and see what it's like. But it's growing in the hedge. What I might be able to do, if I cut some of this back, I might be able to sort of turn this round and try and weave it into the hedge. I'll see. As I'm going to be building up this coal frame, some of these privet branches are in the way, and in fact these trunks are in the way, so I'm going to cut those back with a saw. Well, that's a lot better. I've cut it back so there's nothing overhanging. There's this right in the corner, but we'll see. That will go with the chainsaw. I think we'll have to get a chainsaw to get rid of that one. So do the same all along this hedge and we'll see. Right, I've trimmed that hedge and I've taken it right back to the wood, apart from the gooseberry which is in the way. I mean, a number of times that thing poked me. It's a bit to be best tasting gooseberries ever. Otherwise I'm going to take my revenge on it. Kept poking me. But yeah, I've taken all of that back down to the wood. It looks drastic, but it will fill out. It was all out here, and this was all weeds and rubbish, and cut some of the brambles out of it. But it's a nice big coal frame. I mean, it's massive. People talk about coal frames and they're like it is a little thing. And this, I mean, the sides are brick and solid. That side needs repair. The back is timber, but it's okay. The front will need just been poked by the gooseberry again. The front needs a bit of work. There's a bit of rubbish on it, and I've just found the handle of something. The handle's there. Whatever it is, it's down there. I'll dig it out another day. And the bit that was really sticking out, I've sort of shoved into the hedge, but it'll probably bounce back and hit me in the face or something. For now, it's out of the way mostly. But that is a huge gooseberry. It's as tall as I am. Well, it was as tall as I am, apart from me chopping the tops off a little bit. Good day's work. So there's a nice bit of growing area anyway. Now, I may not get around to growing in it this year, but certainly it could be something good. So we've opened up access to all the way along here, which I couldn't get through, couldn't even walk through, squeeze through. This path was completely invisible, but now I can come down there, come up here, and this hedge is opened up. That's opened up. It just looks a lot brighter. I know it's a nice sunny day as well, but just having all that stuff that was hanging over that bed, you just couldn't even see most of the bed, but now I can see a nice big growing area. So I'll have to think about what I can put in it. That bloody hawthorn, I'll have to deal with that later. But we're not allowed to burn now. We're not allowed to have bonfires. So I'll have to wait till we can start burning stuff again. And then most of that is going, because I don't want it. Having thought about this bed last night, I'm going to put the sunflowers in here because it's about 340 centimeters by 150. So I can get 6 across and I can get 3 across, so that's 18 to 20 along here. Now the only fly in the ointment is this gooseberry, which is at the back, so I might have to leave myself a path to it. And sunflowers don't need to be moved every year, so I can have this as a permanent sunflower patch. South is that way, and this is going to be the compost bins, and that's Tony's compost bin on that side and the neighbour's compost bin on that side, so it's not going to shade anybody out, so it's the perfect spot for sunflowers.